Let's go ahead and jump into some of the new features inside of Luminar 2018 Supernova. The biggest change in this version of Luminar is that it's now Windows compatible. One thing to keep in mind though for Windows users is that there are going to be a handful of features that are not yet available when you first download the software. However, Skylum Software has promised to fill in the gaps with those missing features by the end of the year with free updates. If you're familiar with the previous version of Luminar, you'll notice that the interface here is nice and streamlined, it's elegant, and it's just updated. It looks really nice. Some of the items are relocated, but everything is pretty much still here. For examples, there's no longer a toolbar over on the far right. Instead, you'll find the tools at the very top. Over in the filters panel, we have some nice updates. When you add a filter, it looks a little bit different. We have things grouped into categories. And you can also search for your filters over at the top. The filter bar also sticks around as you add filters. That way you don't have to constantly click that Add Filters button every time you want to add something new. Another thing that's nice is that you can collapse and expand each individual filter. This will help keep things a little organized and less cluttered. Now let's draw attention down to the bottom. We still have all of those presets still there, but the preset selector is now located at the center of that preset bar. And the interface of the category selector also looks a little bit different as well. There's also a new button over here on the right called Overlay Preset. Now the way that presets work in Luminar is if you add a preset, it will replace all of the filters that you have on that layer. So they've made it easy for you to stack presets. When you click on the Overlay Preset button, it automatically adds a new layer to the Layers panel and then allows you to apply a preset without unintentionally overwriting those previous filters that you may have applied. Now let's jump into some of the new filters that they've added inside of Luminar. One of the standout new filters in Luminar 2018 is the Sun Rays filter. This allows you to add a sun with beams of light shooting through and behind certain parts of your photograph. I've added one to this image here. I'll go ahead and toggle that specific filter on and off so you can see the before and after. Now you get to choose where this sun is located in your image. I actually have this slightly off of the frame, so I'll go ahead and click on that Place Sun Center so we can kind of move it around a little bit. Now when it's off frame like this, you don't see that dot, so you need to use the X and Y coordinates to actually relocate it so it comes into view. So I'm going to take that Y coordinate and slide it down just so it comes into view. From here you can actually move it around with the cursor. There are a lot of different settings here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they're really just, it's fun to play with, and there's not really one setting that's going to work for every photo. So I recommend just kind of experimenting with it and seeing what kind of results you can get. Another use of the sun rays filter is to add a little bit of glow to lights. I have two sun rays filters added to this layer, so I'm just going to toggle it on and off so you can see my before and after and what I did to kind of achieve this look. I basically just added a sun rays and made the beam really, really small and really, really soft. So that just goes to show that the sun rays filter can be adapted and used for different purposes. Another really great filter that was added to Luminar 2018 is the Dodge and Burn filter. I'll go ahead and add that filter. It's down inside of the professional list. Go ahead and click on it. And I'll close that filter catalog. To start using this filter, you have to start painting. So I'll click on that Start Painting button over on the right. I'm going to quickly adjust my settings. I'm going to bring my strength down to about 15%. I'm going to increase my size with the right bracket key and do a few brush strokes over the center aisle of flowers. I'm going to switch over to darken and again change my strength setting down to about 15 or so. Increase that brush with the right bracket key and then darken some of the flowers that are just alongside that little aisle. Now if I do a before and after, you can see how quickly I was able to really bring focus to the center of the image. Another really great filter that was added to Luminar 2018 is the LUT mapping filter. LUT stands for lookup tables, and they're basically like presets. They're used quite a bit in video post-processing, but they can also be used in photographs as well. Tons of different software applications allow you to use LUTs, so they're very universal. And if you don't have any LUTs to work with, you can usually find some free downloads online. I'll go ahead and show you how to apply one of these filters, and I'm just going to use a LUT that I made in Photoshop. I'm going to click Add Filters and go down to the Professional section and click on LUT Mapping. Now I just click on that Load LUT File button, and I have a few LUTs sitting there on my desktop. So I'll just go ahead and double click one, and it applies those settings. You can also make a few other adjustments such as the amount, or play with the contrast and the saturation. LUTs are a really easy way to get a very quick effect inside of Luminar. Thanks so much for watching, and if you guys would like to learn more about Luminar 2018, please go to luminar.nicolzi.com.